Hey sluts, I'm Aubrey, an Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Taurus Rising.
And I'm Danny, a Sag Sun, Leo Moon, Libra Rising.
And
we're your Astro Sluts.
Here to talk about Geminis today.
Yay! I'm excited. I think this will be a silly, fun one.
I think so. As
Geminis
the Geminis are. We're doing a series where we do one episode per sign. We're going to talk all about deep dive stories. We're going to talk to a Gemini later, and just all the things you need to know. So if you're a Gemini, you're dating a Gemini, your bestie's
a Gemini.
Mm-hmm. Listen up. Do you want to begin?
Sure. So our Geminis are typically Gemini season is from like May 21st to June 20th ish. I meant to say June 20th ish, I guess. That works. It's around that. So like our early summer babies. Geminis are an air sign. They are our twins. I feel like everything everywhere all at once. Very Gemini energy. Actually I haven't seen it, but just the title.
I think about watching it every day.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about
I've
watching
heard
it
great
tonight.
things.
No, yeah, it's like one of those similar to, apologies, we're filming this at the end of June. Similar to Brat.
Yeah.
That movie is like one of those things. I know I'm going to love it so much that I'm like, I have to wait for the perfect moment to experience it. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, very airy, friendly, wants to make connections, active. I think of like buzzing. Like Gemini energy is like
yeah, very heady. They're very they're good thinkers, but like very there's a lot going on in their heads, less like our last episode was Taurus, much less like grounded and calm than a Taurus.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are mutable, so very like go with the flow, can kind of like adapt to any situation.
I feel like even like curiosity is a good one, like mutable, especially for Gemini, like very open, curious, wants to know, wants to learn. And mutable signs are like the changing of the seasons. So that's why it's like a little more like less structure than a fixed sign in the middle and a little more like transitional.
We're like wrapping up summer, or not summer. We're wrapping up spring. You might have like a random really hot day when you're like, wait, is it summer? And you're like, oh, no, that was fake summer.
So close.
It's still spring. Mercury is Gemini's planetary ruler, which is also like the planet of communication, of thoughts, and Gemini rules the third house, which is also like your neighbors, your siblings, technology, like short-term transportation, like bikes, I think are ruled by Gemini.
Like very social media, you can think of it like communication, but like in that very casual way, like a text, a tweet, sending a voice memo to your friend, like very like kind of the moment, like what is happening, I'm putting that out into the world kind of vibe.
For body parts, Gemini rules the hands, the lungs, and the nervous system, which obviously lungs are like what you need to yap, and nervous system is that like those like quick hits of like a tweet or a text message, that like
very
buzzy,
like fast moving kind of feeling. Gemini rules the third house, which is like, do we say this already?
I did a little bit, yeah.
As I was saying that, I was like, wait.
Yeah, I snuck it in with Mercury.
So like the travel, the communication, also siblings. Which is interesting too. In mythology, they're like the Greek twins. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later with one of my characters.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah.
In general, so we should face the allegations.
Yeah.
On the internet, Geminis really get pegged as like the two-faced.
Yeah, that's literally like the first thing I have written down.
Like that's like
terrible
reputation, which I mean, never trust a Gemini.
Right. We've read the book.
We've read that book. But yeah, I mean, many have been dissed by a Gemini, but I think you're just taking them too seriously.
Yeah, I think also, like, I mean, you're an air sign.
Yeah.
I have a Sag, which is like opposing a Gemini. I think it's just like, I think it's all about like what you understand. I would say we probably have a little more understanding of Geminis. Whereas like for me, there's a lot of signs that I think are far more criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Than like a Gemini. I don't find they would really cross me.
Yeah.
But
we
obviously
all have
like that's
different things.
Yeah.
That are criminal to
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
But Geminis are very good at like adapting to situations. They're really smart. So like they know how to intellectually connect with everyone, which is usually like through comedy. I would say like Geminis are really clever, really witty, and like they are going to say whatever is coming to mind.
Yeah.
And that what's coming to mind today might be different than what's coming to mind tomorrow. And so like at least a well-adjusted Gemini is never gonna like be purposefully like playing you or like, granted, perhaps I think like a lot of those things are just like communication issues, but like,
yeah, I think it is just like, it's like, we've definitely said this before about Gemini, but it's like a presence thing. Like, what is true is what is now, and like what is tomorrow might be a different scenario. So I do think, if you are someone who like really holds people to their word or like really takes things like with a lot of weight or whatever, like you might be very like thrown by, you know, if it could be like a romantic thing, like you thought like someone, you know, a Gemini tells you you love them and then you see them with someone else. Well, they probably do love you. They might not be lying, but maybe, you know, someone else crossed their path and today they're a little more interested in that person. Like, is that the best thing? No, but I do think it's just truly about like curiosity and openness and like a wanting to collect all the things, to learn about all the things over being like malicious.
Yeah, Gemini's just like, I think they just like really get along with people so easily. Something that feels kind of like Gemini energy to me is, have you seen that TikTok where the girl is saying like, you don't like all these guys, like go back and think about like all the times, like all the things that like whenever you like were laughing on a date, like
it's because
you're funny.
Yeah,
that feels like very Gemini.
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
Like you think like you're getting along with all these people, but it's just like you love yourself. Like you think you are really funny.
Yeah, so you're just of course having a nice time.
Yeah. Feels a little bit like that
for sure.
Big yappers, big goofballs. A fun time.
Yeah.
Fun is a good word for them.
Yeah, just fun. I think there is also something that comes along with being funny. Like you have to be smart to be funny.
Yes.
And I do think that's like very Gemini, like
intellectual.
Yeah,
humor.
to like read the room and read it in a funny way or in a witty way. Like there is just like an element of like understanding the situation and knowing. So I do think that's kind of where that like Gemini, like the communication and the intelligence and the silly like all comes together. And yeah, it just makes like a very charming character.
Which shall we go into our celebrity examples?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar. Prime Gemini. Again, we are recording these far in advance, so it is still June in the world we live in. Hot Topic, the diss tracks.
Yeah.
It's like they're
like
not like us is so Gemini.
Yeah, and it's like it's a very funny. Like it's funny, very funny, but
clever,
it's very
catchy.
Pointed.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like funny, but it's not. But
and it's like a good time. Like it's
people
like
are
really
like doing
dark.
like the girls are doing Soul Cycle to this song.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
It's like that's like it's not that kind of song, but it is.
So clever.
Yeah.
So intellectual.
Yeah.
Tupac is also a Gemini, like very similar, just like so good with words.
Yeah.
Expressing yourself through like clever wordplay, that kind of thing.
Aquafina, who famously problematic
yes.
for her voice. I think that's very interesting.
That's
Something to
super
think about. Obviously,
interesting.
like a comedic personality, but like I think I would say most of the backlash has come from truly her voice and how
the delivery,
how she speaks,
mm-hmm.
which I do think is just interesting.
Yeah,
Like the focus on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Another people that I've placed all in the same category of Gemini: Donald Trump, Kanye, James Charles.
Yeah, absolutely.
People that are just saying stuff. Like
it does not matter if it's true to them even.
Right.
It's just about saying stuff to get a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A very like famous, very literal application are Mary-Kate and Ashley, our Gemini twins.
Of course.
Icons.
Emma Chamberlain, which I think is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Love her, actually.
Yeah, she's super cool.
She's like one of those people where I'm like, oh, I like shouldn't love her, but every time I see her, I'm like,
no,
she's just like so. Yeah, she's cool and like, just there's something so charming and like witty about her.
Mm-hmm.
Very real, and it just is like it always feels like you're just like talking to your friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
She feels Gemini. Also Marilyn Monroe. Also like I feel like so famous for her voice. I don't and like obviously like I don't even have quotes by her. Obviously the happy birthday thing is like oh, you just like did that. Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
I have Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
Just like icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I have.
My last one is Anne Frank.
Oh. A writer.
A writer, an author. But a very interesting, like, also like about her voice though, like found another way to communicate.
Yeah.
When like your voice is taken away.
Storyteller.
And also just like so likable.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. Nice gal.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these people are out here saying stuff.
Yeah. Saying stuff. I can't believe I forgot Kanye.
Yeah.
Northwest is a Gemini.
Yes. Yeah. I meant to
my
put her on
favorite.
here too.
I love her. I can't wait to see her grow up.
I know.
Did you see her I Heart Northwest birthday party she just had?
I don't think so, actually.
Super cute.
Okay.
Like I Heart New York shirts, but all the girls wore I Heart NW shirts with like the matching pajama pants, cupcakes, cookies with her face on it. I Heart Northwest. Super cute. Good for her. She should love herself. She's 8 or whatever, you know?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Huge icon. Do you have characters for us?
I do.
I forgot.
Okay.
I just like erased that part of the show when I was prepping for these episodes.
I've got some. My first one is Penelope Bridgerton. Well, that's not her last name, I guess. I guess it is now. I didn't finish it. Penelope Featherington. Yeah. Okay.
Spoilers.
I'm making assumptions. Penelope from Bridgerton, I think is what I meant. But true duality. I do think that actually like Julia Quinn confirmed like their birth times, and I want to say she was like a Gemini rising or something, which is funny. But like town gossip, but in like a very powerful way, in a very intelligent way. Yeah. Obviously like the queen, everyone reads her column and she has like a very big influence over like the ton. And then like also just like her obviously like season 1, season 2 like friendship with Eloise, like they just had this like very special like youthful girly pop, but like not in the way of anyone else like relationship. And like they were in the mix of things, but like not for the love, like for the fun, for the gossip, for the stories, like so I have her first. My second one is Roman Roy from Succession. He's like the youngest brother. And his full name is Romulus. So that's like one of the twins. So Remus and Romulus are the twins that built Rome, who are Gemini. So I think they did it on purpose. That show is so calculated. I feel like that was
That's not like a name you just like accidentally named.
Exactly. Like I do think it was very intentional. But he is like, He's so witty, so funny, and also so fucking nasty. Like, he's just like super childlike, but like gross too in a childish way. Always like on the phone, very like buzzy character, like buzzing around, never sits still, like just this kind of like can go off the rails at any point. Like, you never know what his like next move is, kind of thing. And then my last one is Zach and Cody from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Silly, goofy twin boys.
Yeah.
Menaces, troublemakers, but like harmless. Like, they weren't actually really hurting anyone. Just like that big class clown energy. I was trying to be like, who is like giving class clown? Because I do think that's like very Gemini. And then they also have that same kind of like, they are like each the different personality. Like, one's the little nerdy boy, one's the like little hottie boy, you know, and then like as a duo, they are like this menace.
I think duality isn't a word we've been using enough this episode.
Yeah. Like Penelope is a great duality.
Like, get a girl that can do both.
Right.
Get a Gemini.
Yep.
Well, those are fabulous.
Thank you.
I can't stop saying fabulous at the end of that segment. Fabulous.
Should we hear from the listeners?
I think so.
Okay, so we asked our listeners on Instagram if anyone has ever dated, hooked up with, crushed on, talked to a Gemini before. And we got some pretty silly little tidbits, so I thought we'd just kind of rapid fire through them. So the first one, oh my God, I own this. It's like dating McDonald's and Burger King at the same time. Which is from one of my good friends. And that is just like, what does that mean? But I also know exactly what you mean. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's the same but different.
It's the same but different, but like not that great either.
Like, yeah.
Another one we just got, unfortunately they had. From someone else, a situationship for 2 years, embarrassing in all caps. Another person was regularly hooking up with a Gemini for almost a year, found out he was cheating on his long-term girlfriend. And this is from one of your good friends. Dated 2, fucked 1, help. And then a follow-up. Dated 2 and fucked another, still help. So the reviews are not looking good from the community.
I'm so sorry, Geminis.
I know. We really always try to ride for you. And when we ask anyone else, it's just like, whoop.
I know.
Whoop.
Bad rep.
To be fair, I've never dated a Gemini, I don't think. Not seriously, at least, that I remember it. So,
no,
for me, I'm like, great friend.
No, I always feel like so bestie vibes only from Geminis.
I agree.
Like, I never meet one and I'm like, oh, romance?
Yeah, I wonder if that's clearly, I was going to say, I wonder if that's how everyone feels, but no, because these people have dated them.
They have. I think I can yap with a Gemini really easily. But then it's like, oh no, we just yapped.
Yeah. Can you talk about the person you dated?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a really good example.
It is. So I've been on dates with a Gemini that met them through you.
Yeah.
Very attractive, cool, interesting person. We like got a drink for our first date. Well, this is like intro to queer dating. So there was a lot of like, is this a date vibe? Which also is just like giving Gemini for me, where I'm like, do you want to kiss or are we just yapping?
Yeah.
Cool with either. When I first met them, I was like, let's date. I went on one date. And the second date, I went over to their house and they made me the most beautiful charcuterie board I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Was out here like cooking, like roasting shishito peppers, turning tofu into halloumi cheese, like making like a fucking fig tapenade or something. And I was
Effort.
like effort. And I was like, wait, are they trying to woo me?
Yeah.
And then we yapped for like 4 hours. And then at the end, they were like, well, yeah, I'm applying to grad school, so just not like looking for anything right now. Like, I don't have time for anything right now. And I walked away being like, why did we do this? Why didn't you tell me before I came?
Yeah.
Super weird situation. And then as someone that I then like connected with, well, then I like dated someone, and then once I got out of that relationship, I was like, wait, we should be friends. But then also still tried to date them, and it was just bestie vibes only, like so mutually, so clearly. Yeah, I don't know. I have much more to say.
I know. I'm trying to even think of like, is anyone we know like dating a Gemini? I can't even think of anything. I just am like interested. Like, is it like, I'm just interested in like, are we, not me, are other people, not me actually, I've never been in this situation. Are other people like reading Geminis wrong, and that's why they get upset by them so much? I think obviously sometimes like if you're like on one date, obviously not if you're like in a relationship with someone. You know what I mean? Is it like we're just like, do people like, are they getting the wrong impression, and then that's why people have such a bad taste in their mouth? Obviously there's also probably a lack of clarity that comes from the Gemini's end with that. You know what I mean?
I know,
like
because
wondering
that's like was my
what the
situation
disconnect
kind of
is.
Yeah.
Like, where are we getting to just always being in these like horrible situations with them, like romantic wise?
I wonder if there's something to like,
I wonder too, or just like a lot of it ends up in like cheating, which I feel like comes from the like just the like chasing the bright thing too.
I wonder if it's like the air signness of like, it's like Gemini has like, you're gonna have like an intellectual connection with them, and they really want to have a good time with you. And I think for other people, those things are connected to an emotional connection.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you made me laugh. That makes me feel safer with you.
Yeah, we had really like deep conversations
But it's like for Gemini, that's just like how they are.
Or you're like, oh, they really opened up to me.
They did.
Meanwhile,
they would tell anybody that. Yeah,
that's interesting. That's what I mean. Like, there seems like it's almost like, is there some kind of like misread from like both parties happening?
Yeah, I think because
there's such a clear like pattern of destruction associated with them. Like, that has to be coming from, that's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like, what is that?
Well, when we have our caller,
we'll have
to get to the bottom of that, because I think we're onto something.
No, I agree.
So coming up next,
we'll hear from a Gemini.
I have a Gemini coworker that also is just a professional yapper.
Yeah.
No one can yap. No one can yap like this Gemini.
That's so funny.
Could out yap anyone.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. Great to have at a dinner party.
Yes. Great guest to liven up any scenario. I like a Gemini.
I do too.
I don't know a ton of them.
Yeah. Maybe I like them so much because I don't know any.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're out
that's
here
not
being
true,
like,
but I'm sure I know
Geminis are
some.
amazing.
But right,
I know we don't.
Can't think of a single one.
I do have like a little trio of friends where like I'm an Aquarius, one is a Libra, one is a Gemini, and I do always find it very satisfying.
Yeah,
being in a trio of air signs where we're like, we complete each other. Like, it really feels like something aligns.
Yeah, one of our account teams at work it's like 2 Aries, a Leo, and a Sag.
Yeah,
and it is also just like We all feel like so powerful and competent. Like we are gonna get this shit done and make people laugh. Like
you'll get it.
Yeah, it is a very satisfying thing, I think, to have that little trio.
Absolutely. Should we get our caller on the
Yeah,
line?
let's phone a friend.
Hello to our Gemini caller.
Hey.
It is so lovely to have you. This is one of my friends. We've been friends for almost a decade, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah,
crazy
that's
is
crazy.
that?
Yeah,
Like,
that is really weird.
8 or 9 years. True Gemini king. You really are the most you're the most Gemini.
I love that.
You think?
You're just like so funny and like witty and chatty and like
Oh,
Do
thank you
you
for
think?
saying so.
Okay, let's introduce yourself.
Okay.
Give us your big 3, your big 6.
Your name.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Connor. That's so funny. Okay, when I meet people, I always say, my name's Connor, I'm a Gemini, and my favorite color is purple. So I was almost gonna
Beautiful.
do it, but it wouldn't have been funny because we're actually talking about my my star sign. I am a Gemini with a Cancer rising and an Aries moon. The other 3, I was like really excited to find out what the other 3 are. I don't know. I know the big 3, I don't know the big 6, but
That's okay.
yeah. Lilith and Zenith, my twins. Twins!
Twins.
Yes.
The topic of the
Hi!
day.
So you would say like how much do you know about astrology? Just like big 3 stuff, like the basics.
Yeah, I know like little tidbits about each of the signs. I know how I feel generally about each of the signs.
Yeah.
Um,
Important.
I think I know pretty well actually how I feel about a lot of the signs. Um,
Should we
and
go through how do you feel about them? Maybe you should tell us.
I would be thrilled to. Oh God, sorry. I would be thrilled to. I'll tell you
Please.
right now.
Yeah.
Right now
Yeah.
on my shit list.
Yeah.
It's I'm really sorry to say
I'm not going to be offended.
it's Leos.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm
Super fair.
so sorry.
Today's
Yeah,
the last day of Leo season, maybe almost. We're
Almost.
reaching the end of Leo season, so hopefully those people will chill.
I think it's high time
Yeah.
that they chill a little bit. Um, I I have like a sickness and an illness that I'm drawn to Libras and Leos romantically.
Mm.
No L's, only W's.
Amen. Amen to that. I'm realizing that I
Um,
probably have your birth chart
Yeah, you feel like you would.
on file.
oh, let's get into her.
Yeah,
Let's
we
pull
can
it up.
definitely. So, okay. So Leos are on the hit list. Are Libras?
Libras romantically are on the hit list, but like if we're gonna like
That's fair.
girl about, then I love to like girl around with the Libras.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, so we famously have a little trio of friendship, a little air sign trio of friendship.
Yeah.
Me, Connor, and like our other third bestie, who is a Libra. Like something really magical happens when the 3 of us are together.
It's just so airy. We're just all like, it's just so windy and
We could
really
literally,
gorgeous.
yeah. I always like say how like you have some friends where you like have to do an activity with, and there are other friends you have that you cannot do an activity with. And we are all people that cannot do an activity because we yap so much.
Nothing's getting done.
That if we were like to be doing, I don't know why mini golf is the thing coming to mind, right? But if we were trying to play mini golf, we would be on the course being like, and did you hear that? Like we
And
wouldn't
did
be
you know
able to play
that
the game.
AstroTurf was invented in
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's definitely a synergy there. And I think that it goes so far that even like, yeah, the activity will be talking about a topic, and we can't even accomplish that because
Yes.
we will talk about another topic. Yeah,
Totally.
Maybe I
which I
don't
love.
have you in here.
Except I do love, which I don't know if I don't know if you love it as much as we do, but I do. The one activity that I do love is when what's that game with the thing in the
Uh,
pop culture?
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
Yeah.
Bitch. That's the activity. Yeah.
Yes. That's like the one with like the circular
Oh yeah.
device, and you have to like you have to make everyone else guess.
It's a yapping game.
Yeah, it's total yapping game. And it's also, you have to like be tapped in. You have to be like a little bit smart, clever even. That is a fun game.
So nice to me. You're so nice to me.
As you deserve.
Honey.
What can I say?
I had to move I had to move the shades out of the way.
You're
You look
looking gorgeous.
stunning.
I keep wanting to say again how beautiful you look.
Thank you. I feel like a dumpster fire. I did wake up with a very dry mouth about half an hour ago. Because I was out last night and just doing bullshit. I had a guy threaten me with a gun last night.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah.
I don't love that.
I don't either.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, I didn't really care. I knew that he didn't mean it because I could just tell, but he was in town he's a Republican gay guy.
Oh.
And he was in town for the DNC, and he was rude to me, and I told him that he was rude, and then he threatened me with a gun.
My God.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yikes. Gonna be a tense week in the city. Anyways, circling back, tell us, what are you hearing about Geminis? What do you know about them? Are you identifying with those traits?
What I hear about Geminis is, well, it's more what I see first, because when I tell people that I'm a Gemini, there's a like a visceral reaction that like is always followed up by an apology and a justification. They're
Totally.
like, oh, sorry, no, I'm sure you're really cool. Like I have a Gemini friend. But yeah, I think that the like general consensus on Geminis is that they're unruly and um maybe a bit bombastic and fickle.
Those were wonderful
words.
SAT.
Beautiful vocabulary.
And do you feel like you are those things?
Thank you. Yeah, I do feel like I am those things. I think when I first, because I don't feel like it was always a Gemini hate train. I feel like I'm gonna point to like the year 2015 that people were like Geminis, you know? And at first I was like, no, I'm lovely. And then I was like, oh no, like I am a fickle bitch. I do flip-flop. But it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind.
So true.
That's my prerogative. And so, yeah, I feel like people don't like Geminis because they think that they are two-faced, and that just when people say that Geminis are two-faced, I'm like, oh, sweet summer child, like you just need nuance. You
Right.
need to understand
Mm-hmm.
nuance.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would I give it all to you up front?
Yeah.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something that has to be earned. And I yeah, I think that that's kind of actually like cool that I don't know, you can meet a person and feel like you know them, and then you get to know them more and you're like, whoa.
Keep us
Mhm.
interested.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Air signs do really
that-
like to keep people guessing.
Yeah. No, for sure.
in an annoying way, like where I get annoyed with myself, I'm like, it doesn't have to like stop all the dramatics. Okay, last night,
Yeah.
I after that guy, okay, the reason why, can I tell this story?
Please.
Please, yeah.
Okay. So, um what happened was we were in line and then this guy just came up to us, and I guess he knew my friend because he lived in DC before. And so he was talking to him and then he starts talking to me, and he leans in to like give me a kiss.
Excuse
And he was cute, so I was like, okay, like yeah, I'm gonna take a kiss.
me. Yeah.
And then he went and gave me his cheek.
Oh,
And then stop. He pulls away and then goes to my friend and full open mouth kisses him.
What?
And so I obviously was like, I'm a monster.
right.
I'm
No, they're a
disgusting.
monster.
Yeah. What?
Well, yes, but in the
Yeah, I
moment,
understand. I
why
understand.
would we put the onus on anyone but ourselves?
Correct.
And so yeah, like kind of forked with me. Oh, kind of yeah, like messed with me. Wait, why did I start talking about this? You guys.
Because it was a good story. We're processing.
Yeah, but
Nuance. Um,
oh, okay, yeah, fickle. Keeping them
fickle.
guessing.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
So we went inside and like by the end of the night, I had told my friends that I was leaving and then returned 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it was like I would be in there and I'm like, fuck this. Like this is so fucking like I don't need
Where
to
were
like
you?
I was at Charlie's.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Love. I love Charlie's.
I fucking hate Charlie's. Because what do you elaborate?
I don't know. I just think it's like a crazy place.
It's exactly, yeah. Okay, I get it. I love Charlie's in that regard too, like performance art almost.
Yes.
But then sometimes like art becomes life.
Totally.
And then
And I
that's when
think
I don't like it.
as someone that's me, I can
Yeah.
be really observant at Charlie's. You know,
Love
it's not
that.
really for me. There's not really
Yeah.
people for me
Yeah.
or against me
Exactly.
there. I'm more so
Yeah.
just like a guest.
I A hate that. I hate that. Hate
Yeah.
that.
But also like I'm
Also,
not like involved in a
Yeah.
way
I know
where
what
like
you
you
mean.
might go there and you're like in the trenches.
because the thing about it is I feel that way the same way that you do,
Yeah.
where I'm like, but then I also am reminded of reality that I'm a gay man. And then
Perception.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to like I have I guess like this is something I should care about. Who says
Who's to
who?
say? Who's to
Who's to say? Who's to say? Wait, I was thinking before this call, I was like, thinking about Gemini, and when I think about Gemini, I always think of the line from Shrek the Musical where Fiona says, "I'm a mess of contradictions in a dress." Because I feel like that's so. I heard that and I was like, Fiona's a Gemini.
No, but
Because she goes from
actually,
cute.
no, but actually,
She's a Gemini.
the duality, the
Mhm.
The
double
duality,
life.
the witty, the fun, the weird.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we could do a whole Shrek episode.
my God,
That could be kind of fun.
I think people would love that.
That would be fun. Yeah, Fiona is definitely a Gemini. But yeah, I take the reins. Let me stop.
We're having a great time.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Famously, this is our podcast, and we get to do and talk about
Yeah.
whatever we want.
Sometimes we forget.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's how we operate. Like, there are no rules here, you know?
Thank God.
Our whole thing
hate
is
rules.
people are just listening in on a
Yeah.
little hangout, and sometimes
Yeah.
we get derailed.
Yeah.
Just life.
As I want to do, yeah.
Yes, I agree. Should we talk about like what signs you've dated, which signs you typically date? I guess you kind of said Libra, Leo at the beginning. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I had like a Libra chapter. It's actually
Mhm.
quite weird. It was like a few years where it was all Libra.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Famously my
Yeah.
my world famous awful relationship was with a Libra.
Libra.
Um
Oh, that makes so
followed
much sense too.
you think?
Just like the sliminess of it.
The exactly, slimy sleazy.
The lying.
Duplicitous.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Quite
the words.
sorry.
know.
The
Sorry.
words. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Thesaurus.
I've been
It's a
wanting to
thesaurus up
I've
here.
been wanting to better my vocabulary
Yeah.
recently. This is doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Taylor Swift like refers to me when she's songwriting. Because
Yes,
that
that's a
bitch
good word for
just
this.
she opens up a thesaurus and gets busy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, there was a moment with Libras. Um, yeah, he was my first boyfriend was a Libra, and we were together for like a year and a half, and then there were like Libra suitors that followed. Um, and then I'm in a Leo era lately, and I've been scorned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've been scorned a few times,
Yeah.
and let me talk about Leos because that's like more front of mind for me.
Mhm.
Dating Leos, it is very much uh scratch my back and I won't scratch yours.
For sure.
Mm.
And um like it's have you seen that video of Jasmine Masters where she's like, when do when do you when do it it becomes
Carry
okay.
on. The Leos.
Okay.
How
Um
you're scratching their backs.
it's like for example, do I want to say that?
No pressure.
I know, right? I'm thinking because this is someone that like I had a thing with, and then famously we're trying to be friends.
Ah.
Mhm.
So I don't want to like,
Classique.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and that's the Leo way. That's the Leo way. Okay. This is the MO. This is the MO, the modus operandi. This is what they do. They're like, I'm obsessed with you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to you all day long. I want to hang out with you. When am I going to see you next? This is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's new, it's hot, it's fresh, so exciting. And then you follow suit because you're like, "Oh yeah, like this feels incredible." And you're like drawn in you follow the signs, and you trust yourself. If
Mm-hmm.
anyone get into trusting your heart,
Yep.
um,
Been there. Don't
yeah,
recommend.
big mistake. Yeah, huge. And then once you are brought to the state that they were in, then they're like, well, wait, hold on. You're being crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And um sorry, there's a helicopter flying high noon
They're
in the
coming for
sky.
you.
They just drop a six
Drop me a
pack
can.
into my window. Yeah. Um that was so squirrel. But yeah, then yeah, you follow suit and you show up the way that they were showing up, and you're like, okay, I'm feeling it. I feel good. Let's do this. And then they're like, well, wait, relax. I like this is really fun. Why are you being like intense about it?
Mm.
And it's like, wait,
Yep.
you were
Yep.
making me breakfast in bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were
Oh.
like lighting candles in the shower while we played Janet Jackson, bitch. Demita Joe?
Janet
Like you're gonna play
Jackson.
Demita Joe in the shower with candles and you're gonna be like, this isn't romantic.
Why is this so common?
It's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
And now you
what do
guys
you
are
have to say
friends.
for yourself?
Me?
What do you have to say for yourself?
Danny's a
Nothing.
Sagittarius, but with a
I am
Leo
a Leo
moon.
moon.
Oh, I
But
confused it.
it's okay.
Fuck.
Similar vibes.
Fuck.
Similarities.
Similar vibes. I do think Leos,
The
though, are
moon.
just like, I don't know. Is it like the mirroring thing, you know, where they just like are so like I'm saying this with Leo placements, so I'm trying to be kind, but like so obsessed with themselves, and then it's like, you know, when people are like, when you go on a date, like, are you into the person or are you just like
Yeah.
tracking
Into
yourself?
yourself.
Like, is it
Yeah.
that where they're just like, oh my God, like this could be so romantic and I'm gonna do all these things.
They like the
whatever. And then
dramatics as well, like the theatrics.
it's like for them.
And then like
kinda.
us air signs are like, we're gonna see theatrics and think about it. And we're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, this
means something.
yes. Oh, you did this and you said this. So therefore, you must feel like this.
Oh, you mean logic?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly what I mean too. I mean exactly like so
Yeah.
we use logic. And then the fire signs
Yeah,
are
it's
like
just so in the moment. It's not like
yeah.
logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had one of the most, which is this is so funny because I'm sure like I was just thinking about this a couple days ago. I was like, I bet they don't even remember this date. And I'm like, that was like the most romantic date I've ever been on.
Yeah.
I went to their home, lovely, gorgeous, curated apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I told you about this, Aubrey, right?
Maybe. Yes.
Like that first date with the moon.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, the moon. This is gonna tie in gorgeously.
Yes.
Like, please.
Okay. So I go in. There is lovely, like orchestral music playing on the record player. There are like candles lit with just a beautiful charcuterie board prepared.
Mm-hmm.
There's a joint rolled on the table and two glasses of red wine prepared before I've even entered. And I'm like, okay. And then we're sitting down, we're talking, we're enjoying ourselves. It's it's going so well. We're laughing, it's like flirty, whatever. And then we are about to kiss for the first time. And um I was like, oh my gosh, it's a full moon tonight and it's the harvest moon. And they were like, what's that. And then I was like, to my understanding, it's like you're reaping what you've sown, like you planted seeds, and uh it's like clearing out with the old, in with the new, by shades of gray. What are the words?
Goodbye,
Skies
clouds
of
of
gray,
gray. Hello, skies of blue.
skies of blue. There we go. Okay, yeah.
That was like, what's that like meme where it's always like little toys like standing in a circle and it's like a witch, like it's like they're casting a
candle in
spell.
the middle.
Yeah.
Or that TikTok recently of that group of queens at a table, and they were like, "You want to guess the color
Yes,
of my
yes.
underwear?"
Yes, that was that.
Saying grace.
That is
We should
Grace. That is
start
Grace.
chanting fabulous as a manifestation technique. I think TikTok would eat that up.
Yeah.
I want fabulous. That is my simple request. All fabulous,
Bigger and better and best. It's
Yeah.
like actually really real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start listening to that at least once a day.
Wait, but I need something inspiring to help me get along. I really do. Is that so wrong?
It's so true.
So wrong.
Sharpay, the queen that you are,
Yeah.
is so crazy. That's a
Yeah.
Leo. That's a Leo queen.
We recently discussed
Mhm.
we think she's a Taurus.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I could say Leo moon though.
Leo moon for sure. There is
Okay.
Leo in there, but we think Taurus.
Yeah, but my Taurus read is her commitment to the status quo.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with the status quo. Stick to the stuff you know. Oh.
And like wanting fabulous things like
What?
towels
Yeah.
imported from Turkey and Turkey imported from Maine. Taurus. Luxury,
Wow.
softness.
Yeah.
food.
Okay. That's actually a really solid argument. Yeah, you're right. Love her.
Yeah, love
Love
her.
her.
No, yeah, we just discussed all of this on
Yeah.
our Taurus episode.
Yeah.
Of she's just like growing.
Yeah.
We say growing up is realizing that Sharpay is the victim.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was not the villain of
Huge.
that story.
At all. No. But yeah, Harvest Moon.
Oh yeah, yes.
And I'm getting emails from backstage. Please. Harvest Moon, and I explained what it was, and then they were like, that feels so appropriate for tonight. And I was like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And like heart pounding, heart boo 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 boo. And then so it was August at the point.
Yeah, I was gonna say
this
this was
point,
like
I
a
think.
year ago, right?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago now.
Okay. And this is still going
Yeah.
on?
No, this is old.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant this is still the
No.
person that you're like.
Oh, absolutely
That's
not.
a different Leo.
No.
Great. Okay, good. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
We're not mutuals any longer,
Wonderful.
but I do still have the follow if
Of course.
you catch my drift.
Yes.
I mean, I unfollowed them, but yeah, so then the windows were open because it was really hot in the apartment, and then we kiss, and then a gust of wind bursts in through the window, like like we were twitches or something. Like
like
it was
a Disney
it
Channel
was
original movie.
so crazy. Yeah, the decom. We were in the decom, but they don't kiss. So never mind. But yeah, it was like we kiss, a gust of wind, and then we like pulled apart and we're like, what the fuck? And we both were like, this is so weird. This is weird, right? Like you think it's weird? And then it was like that for the first little bit that we were spending time together, and then it was like dangle a carrot. Like, yeah, I want to see you, but like on my time. And like that's I have every right to like not really consider how you might feel about it. And so I'm just gonna like behave on any whim that I have. And then when one of my whims calls for you, then like come on over.
Mhm.
And that's so gay. It's really
True.
gay.
Okay, I want to go back to like how we were talking about logic
Mhm.
a few moments
Yeah.
ago because I feel like people are forgetting that Geminis are air signs.
No, totally.
Talk to us. How much are you thinking? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. Um,
Yeah, it's fair.
I if I would be a perfect candidate for lobotomy. I would be a perfect candidate for a lobotomy because I'm thinking about my thinking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, yeah, like I'm thinking about what am I thinking about right now? Right now I'm thinking about like a facial twitch that let me stop. Last night was so bad, you guys. So I'm like
Yeah, I
I
can't
woke up
believe
and I was like,
how casually you brought up that you had a gun pulled on you.
he didn't pull it. He didn't pull it.
Okay.
He that's why I was like, you're lying. Like,
Oh,
and
I
if you do
see.
have one on you, like you're too scared to use it. So relax. I I'm in a moment right now that I'm feeling really insecure. And so especially lately, I'm like fixating on yeah, just like facial movements and people's reactions to me and what I could do differently to not elicit those reactions.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, well, are you, was that reaction like, did you really notice that? Or is that your insecurity coloring what you see? And now, like, you're seeing something that wasn't actually there. And then I'm like, okay, well, no, trust your gut because, and then you're like, well, no, don't trust your gut because where has that gotten you? And then you're like, wait, what am I talking about anymore?
Mhm.
It's like that. Like
Um,
yeah, I get stuck in thought loops and I create situations that haven't existed, don't exist,
mhm.
probably won't exist, but um yeah, it's a lot. It's too much, really.
Yeah. I feel like that is
Thinking.
such a real
Yeah.
insight on Gemini that like we
Mhm.
don't get to see often. I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing. Cuz like we talk so much about how like Geminis are so good at reading people and like Geminis can really like I mean this you specifically but also Geminis in general like you could make anyone laugh.
Mhm.
Like you really could figure out how to make anybody laugh. Which is like you have to be so smart to be able to do
Yeah.
that. But I think like you are thinking about it though. You
Yeah.
know, it's like taking a lot
Yeah.
of thought
Yeah.
and effort and like
Yeah, no, I think
And I
something.
feel like that's where like oh go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say we like. I feel like always try to remind people that like Geminis are really smart.
yeah.
Like I think in like just pop astrology, like it is like a very like communicative, brainy, heady sign that like I think that's just like not what people think about
Yeah.
when you think Gemini, because that's not necessarily like Geminis aren't out there trying to be like no, I'm like really smart.
Yeah.
They're just like gonna be like very funny, very witty, connect with you, or you know what I mean. They show it in like kind of more like social, interpersonal ways.
And I also find that like I feel like I like as like Aquarius can relate to this in a different way, but like people are so starved for authenticity and human connection that like I find that like when I'm really myself around people, which is like quite often, I'm like very in touch with my Aquarius sun and can be like quirky little like weirdo to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I surpass the Taurus rising a lot, and people like think that we have this amazing connection because like they don't know a ton of people that are so comfortable being themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like other people like put too much weight on me being myself around them, where I'm like, oh no, this I'm like this around everybody. Like you and I do not have this like special thing. But I feel like Geminis do that in like through comedy. Like you know how to chat with anybody, connect with anybody, and I think Geminis are maybe getting a bad rap a lot of the time because other people put so much weight on being able to connect with someone like that. But for you, it's easy.
And that's so interesting that you say that, because I was gonna say I feel like one of the judgments of Geminis a lot of the time is that like maybe insincerity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would totally see that because like cracking jokes and like you know, and that's been something that I've been struggling with lately because I'm starved for connection, and I feel like I reach a plateau where like people will laugh around me and they'll like have fun, and then that's kind of where it ends. Because I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Because like that's the first thing that I show, and like I'm thinking of these people that I'm becoming friends with now. I'm like deeply insecure because I feel like I made a fool of myself last night. I showed up initially as like very fun and like excited to be there, and like chatting and being witty and making jokes and whatever, which I appreciate you saying all of those things. I do. That was very nice. And then I had an emotional moment, and I feel like that is like kind of whiplash a little bit for other people, and so it can come off as like unhinged or like unstable, and
Your
that's
Aries moon, you
frustrating.
said?
Yeah.
I feel like that is also like you very like in the moment you're gonna have like a very big emotion and then it's gonna be over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
people don't respond well to that because like what is an emotion? An emotion, like it's like a sneeze.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, I get that. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
it's a biological process that you have to go through. And so I go through it and then that's it. I don't want to like, I want so badly to not live in it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been an issue sometimes because like I'll have issues, like a problem with someone, and then I'll say it, and then it'll be out there, and then I'm like, okay, but then they'll stay there, and they think that like I'm still there, but I'm like, no, I said it, and it's fine. And like, I don't know, people can't adjust at the same pace. I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. That's exactly what's happening. Other people are like really gonna hold on to it. But like fire moons are gonna be like,
yeah,
I'm really mad at you for this. And other people are gonna be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever been like mad for more than like an hour. You know? I'm over it now. It already happened.
Yeah. Because what are we going to do?
I know, exactly.
Like, I'm going to be upset about it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Scorpio moon? Oh, I'm holding on to that shit, and I'm going to wait for the perfect moment to seek revenge.
I
It's
love
exhausting.
that.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of fierce. But it's different. It's super different. You've been amazing to have on the pod. Literally such a treat.
No, this was so good.
This was like really, really good. The kids are
you
gonna
sure?
love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was a beautiful look at a Gemini. A portrait of a Gemini.
Ooh, gorgeous.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I trust you both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we love you so much.
We love you.
Bye.
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 Well, I think that's all we've got.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with Cancer. Is that true? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We'll be back with Cancer next week.
Bye, sluts.
Bye, sluts.